Welcome to again another wonderful session, and we hope you had a nice break for that. And I'm sure the video that you just saw now will become an inspiration to you guys. And I'll allow Tumelo to do the house rules and start the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Kabelo. What a way to start the session today. To our fellow participants, kindly please mute your microphones and allow the presenter to do the presentation smoothly. There will be a time for question and answers. Feel free to write your questions on the chat box. Without further delays, I'll hand over to Dr. Hoos.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I was just sitting here enjoying my cup of tea and just watching all this. It's a journey. It's always a journey. And yeah, life's a journey and learning is a journey. I just need to also share that Cabello has actually judged internationally already. Actually, you've judged internationally 4 times. So the first time was in Spain, in Pamplona, and then he judged at the Africa Open Champion Internationals, and then there was the Tenerife. He judged internationally, and Cabello also judged in Hungary internationally. So yeah, and you see, it's a journey. It's a journey, and then just like the cherry on the top, I got to know Cabello at my team's very first nationals, when he was at Sibona. And so yeah, it's a journey. It's all a journey, and it's stunning memories. And sometimes when you watch these movies and reflections, you think, come a far way. And I think that's what robotics competitions are all about. It's about coming a far way, about journeying. And there's always a role to play in the journey. So welcome, everybody. And it's about inspiration. And I hope in the last 3 sessions, I've kind of inspired some coaches to kind of try another competition. Maybe if you only plan to do one other different type of robotics competition. But basically, the idea is to keep the learners really involved in robotics, that they have a deep learning experience. You just never know what the learning triggers and what kind of workshops will trigger some learning as well. So my discussion is actually today very short, and I'm kind of going to say what do we need to start? And I think the first thing everybody needs to do is just to say, let me register. Let me register a team. Obviously, you've got to have a team, but register a team and try participate. Just participate. Just start. Yes, you're competing against all the teams, and yes, the grade 4s are competing against the grade 5s, or the grade 4s are competing against the grade 10s. And I think that's the cool thing of a competition. You just never know. You just never know who you're competing against, and maybe that is really a good life lesson. Is that you're in this together, and we're all learning together. All right. So let me just. I want to say I want to share my presentation, but no. Okay, let me just go and do this. Okay, and share my screen, and there we go. All right, and then I will have somebody telling me from the audience, yes, they can see my screen.
So we can see. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just going to really give a summary of what we've been doing for the last 3 sessions. And then I'd like to open the floor for discussions. But really, for the robotics competitions, there's always an analysis part, and there's always a design part, and there's always a kind of link to that. There's always a robot part, and there's always a programming part, and then there's usually a problem-solving part as well. And then there's some of them have got some research. And so I've written in capital letters: research what you're going to do, analyze what you're going to do. Does kind of find out what the competition's about and what is required. Okay, challenge yourself, and then participate or present yourself. Okay, so this is a first Lego League. This was the Cargo Connect season from last year, and just as an example, this was their research project they had to do. They had to figure out the transportation systems that you move cargo from one place to another, and you want to have And so right up front, I need to tell you about all these competitions. You are the coach, okay? You are not doing anything for your learners because you're not doing them any favor. So whatever you do, please coach your learners, support your learners, mentor your learners, help your learners, but don't do the work for them. All right. So I kind of got an overview, and I'm going to go through the competitions kind of as we presented them. I think I've missed out one now. Okay, let's have a look whether I've got them all there. Okay, so what does a team need? For Conquesta, it's a quiz, okay? And so obviously you need to know something about robotics. And you need to know something about programming. But for most of the paper, it's really about a quiz of application. And the team that put the paper together have really concentrated on getting kind of a real world feel for robotics, okay? Then you've got, oh, I know what I left out. Okay, I need to, wait. I'm going to stop sharing. Wait, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. I'm just going to add something. I knew there was one thing that was bothering me, what I'd left out. I'll just put it in here quickly. Now let's go again. Okay, now I'm going to share my there we go. Let's start sharing again. I've just fixed it. I knew I'd forgotten something, and then it's just there. All right, so here we go again. Let's try again from the current slide. There we go. All right, so for Conquesta is a quiz. Right. So for virtual gear, for the Robothon, for the first Lego League Challenge, and for WRO, these 4 competitions, they are aimed at the grade 4s to grade 10s. Maybe not the WRO. The WRO's got all the way to grade 12, and it's got a student competition. I just forgot about that. Okay. I really need to create a whole table. I will create a table, and I'll present it. I'll maybe put it onto the MOOC portal as well. I'll lay this all out, what you all need. So the virtual gear, the challenge part, to find out what the challenge is, that is all detailed on the MOOC 3 portal, or the M3 portal, okay? And so you will need a mat, or you can make your own mat, and you'll need some sweets and for this year's challenge. So last year we needed tubes, and we needed rings, and we needed there was a container in the middle of the room as well. But for virtual gear, the challenge part is detailed in the MOOC 3 portal. Okay. For the Robothon, and for virtual gear, you've got time to design your robot, use your laptop and the software to write the computer programs, test them well, and then you come to the competition. For the Robothon, you just bring your robotics kit, no robot. Okay, the Robothon for the younger children, you can still bring a structure. I think there was a concession, but you basically have your robotics kit, you have a laptop, and then you come to the session, and it's going to be a Teams meeting. You come to the session, and then you hear what your challenge is, and then you have 5 hours to get on and do the challenge. Okay. For first Lego League Challenge, you normally have about 8 weeks to prepare, okay? You will need a robotics kit, you will need a laptop, and you will need a challenge mat. So the Power Up challenge will be detailed and released worldwide on the 1st of August. And South Africa, we will do our discussion of the challenge probably on August the 6th, which is the Saturday of National Science Week, okay? And then for WRO, if you're going to do the Robo Mission part, or you're going to do the Future Engineers, or you're going to do the Robo Sports, you will definitely need a robot. And I think you might need some extra components. I know for the Robo Sports, we always needed compasses and infrared seekers, but I'll confirm that. I'll have to go and study the competition. You will need, for every team of 3 learners, so for every team of learners, you will need a laptop, and then you will need to know what the challenge is. So whether it is elementary or junior or senior, or if you have a team that is not known, doesn't know the challenge, it will maybe, or has not participated before, it will maybe do the Explorer. And if you want to do the grades 1, 2, and 3 with the We Do kits, then you will need to do the, there is a We Do mat or a junior mat. Okay. All right. So just give me 1 second. I think there is a delivery.
While on that note,
I am so sorry. You're going to have to just, let me just quickly stop sharing here. I'm just quickly going to the gate quickly. Tumelo, can you continue the conversation here? I'll be back in a minute.
Sure, no problem. We'll just share another video.
This is the Cargo Connect competition field. There are 16 missions which can be done in any order. You do not have to complete all the missions, just try as many as you can in each 2.5-minute robot match. Only the score from your best match will be counted. Your robot must start completely inside this launch area, and you should program it to return to this home area. You can handle and modify your robot between runs while it's in the home area. Gracious professionalism is how we express our core values in First LEGO League. The robot game is an important place to observe gracious professionalism, and the referees will evaluate this for each team at each robot match. Your robot and all its equipment must fit into one of the inspection areas. If it is small enough to fit into this small inspection area, you will score the bonus points.
This crazy 1,500 rands drone is going to be banned from the public. There's a tiny South
Mission 1, Innovation Project Model. In this mission, you will use the innovation project model you have made that represents the solution to your innovation project. If your innovation project model has any part touching the Cargo Connect circle. Mission 2, Unused Capacity. Fill the container with its contents. While the hinged container is in home, a team member can fill it with the contents. If the container is closed and partly full of contents. If the container is closed and completely full of contents.
Thank you, Dr. Holmes.
Thank you. All right. It always looks easier. The challenges always look easier when it's not your robot and you haven't programmed your robot. Yeah, as many teams can attest. All right, let's quickly finish our presentation and then we'll kind of ask some questions. Okay, here we go. I think it's a new way of living, all this courier dropping off. You know, I don't even go to the shops anymore. Everything gets dropped off. All right. Okay, so what I was saying for these competitions, you definitely need, per team, you need one robotics kit, one laptop. You can maybe share the challenge mat. Yeah, but every team needs a robotics kit and a laptop as well with the software installed. Okay. The First LEGO League, you normally have 8 weeks. There are 12 sessions in the team meeting guide. You've got to kind of prepare, but you'll also notice that once your teams get experience, it's a very strange phenomenon. They kind of know what they're doing. And so a team then kind of gets it. They have their own rhythm and they kind of know exactly what they have to do. And it's amazing to watch learners, especially the first year. You've got to, as a coach, you're really hands-on and you're guiding them through the process and you're making sure they keep their targets and they've got milestones and they have to achieve things. second, third year, and especially if you have a team that is getting older, and the cool thing is getting younger learners then onto a team as well as when the older ones age out. It's really amazing that they have their own rhythm and they know what they're doing. And so when a challenge opens, we open the box and we start building the mission models, and yeah, we can't wait. Yeah. WRO is a bit more technical, so you will really need to read the rules very well. The WRO challenge comes with a mat which you need to get, but it also has a whole box, and I said I would show you that, and I'll show you that not just now, a whole box of pieces, and all the elements in the challenge you can build with those pieces. Okay. So then we've been talking about, so what do the grades 1, 2, and 3 do? So just the grades 1, 2, and 3, there's a WRO we do category as well. I've actually got the mat, and I just haven't got it here. But they can use the we do kits and they can participate very much. And I think participation is the important thing here. All right. For the grades 1, then you have a tablet to do the programming, and then you get your explore kit, which is like your challenge kit, your explore kit, which is kind of all the mechanisms that you need to build and make moving. And each team needs that, and there's usually about 6 members in an explore team. All right. And then with the discover team, there's usually 4 members in a discover team, but 2 teams together can share a steam park. It's more than enough. But each team has their own discover box. So that's where they build their little mechanism. They build what they have to build, and then they put it all together. So a team of 4, this is a grade R's. Okay. So Tumelo was showing you the Cargo Connect. I'm waiting in anticipation that we can release the new Power Up Challenge. But basically, if you look at a mat like that, you can see where all the challenges are all over the mat. So it's really a distribution. If you have a rookie team or a new team, you would probably concentrate on the part or the half of the mat that's closest to base. Okay. You get a book called the Team Meeting Guide, and you get a book called the Engineering Notebook. So the Team Meeting Guide is for the coaches, and the Engineering Notebook is then for the team. And you can kind of break it up into 3 sets of 4. So the number 1 is the analysis and the problem solving, and then you do your initial research. And the middle part is you're kind of getting your solution, and you're kind of getting your programs together, and you've got your attachments built. And so you're building all the little pieces together. And the last 4 weeks is where you kind of pull it all together as a strategy. And then you usually fine tune things if it's taking too long, or if it's not quite as accurate as you wanted it. And a good thing in those last 4 weeks is then to have these practice runs with evaluations as well. But then you've got to obviously evaluate and practice the whole thing. You're going to kind of pull it all together. So really 12 sessions, 12 weeks, it kind of gives you a good feel of where you are. But if you can't make it, and it's also not cutting. So it'd be great if you can have more than 1 session a week. If you can have 2 sessions a week, great. If you have a team that works very well with teamwork, you can maybe consolidate it as well. But that you get to your goals, because your goal is to have a robot that functions with a strategy. It cannot just be a hit and run. It needs to be well organized. All right. And that was the Cargo Connect. I'm sure that the new competitions videos. So there's lots of resources. A, for the missions, B, for the projects. There's always a sharing. Okay. There's always a sharing of ideas, a sharing for all the competitions. This is specifically for the Cargo Connect from First Lego League Challenge. There are always things that you can share. Okay. Even for the project, there are teams that will gladly share their information. Okay. So this is some of our navigation. I think this slide should have been right at the beginning. I don't know why it got to the back here. But basically, we are here to answer your questions. You just need to ask the questions, okay? And we would love to equip you as robotics coaches to be competent and confident that you can enter competent and confident teams, and that they can participate in these competitions. All right. With every team, there are a whole lot of roles, and some roles are well defined and some are not quite well defined. It helps to give members something specifically that they have to do, that they're responsible for. So you could have builders and programmers, and then researchers of logistics, and researchers of the strategy, and researchers of timing, and researchers of scoring. And you can have somebody, if they like to talk, they stand at the table and shout what the next mission is. If you like people that are kids that like to be organized, you can get them to pack the robot before it goes to a competition. There's also a really good role of charge the robot every morning. And at all times, when you give out roles, please don't give it to one person only. All right. If you've got 3 builders and 3 programmers, the builders still need to be able to program, and the programmers still need to be able to build. So my strategy all the years was, if you've got 9 members in a team, then we make it 3 groups of 3, and each of those groups are responsible for the attachments and the programming of at least one mission. Okay, and then in that last time, when in those last 4 sessions where we pull everything together, then we decide in which order we're going to do this. But everybody needs to have ownership of a program and attachment. All right. And in a robotics team, not everybody has the same approach to problem solving. Some like to draw, some like to talk, some like to listen and share maybe just core things. Some kids like to solve the problem with lots of words. But whatever it is, you need to give every single learner a space on the team. They need to be able to talk. Please do not give them the answer. Don't give them the answer. The learners need to be able to solve their own problems. All right. So usually in a season, there's a release or a launch. There's a whole lot of documents that you can download. There's a whole lot you can like, and this pondering the challenge, the table, the mission pieces, or whatever it is part of the competition. Involve your team in everything. Okay, and read as much as you can. If there's a project, then kind of start the researching on the project, and then you start building and programming the robot to complete some or all of the missions. Okay, and then you pull it all together. So this is an example. If you have an innovation project for the first Lego League Cargo Connect, this is how it is laid out. It's all documented there, and it's really good if the team members can also know that you're not just thinking up these things. It's actually part of the process. And here's my why bother. And I often have a why bother, and because it does bother me, and that's why I bother. I think if it didn't bother me, I would not bother. But here's the really important things. We do need to develop research skills. We need to develop research skills, and not just a haphazard research. There is a process to this. Okay. But we also need to develop these 21st century skills. These learners in schools are facing a different future from what we have. It's not that we know all the answers, but we can upskill them. And so these 21st century skills, and it's a matter of social justice, that learners need to have access and opportunity to develop their 21st century skills, because we aren't going to be around forever. Okay. They need to stay on in this world, and they need to make a success of it. Okay. There's always a real world problem that needs deliberation, attention, and a solution. For example, the first Lego League has gone on to water, energy, food safety, orbit, trash. WRO is now on My Robot, My Friend. It's also been into orbit, trash, water, road safety. It's amazing. So all these are real world themes. Okay, and you'll see that the same thing repeats itself in WRO, in First Lego League. It comes back, and there's always something where these are the issues that these kids need to address, and they need to have an opinion on it, and they need to have a solution to the problems. It's their problems, and I know they are sitting with many problems, but they need to solve them. Okay. Just on a side, for First Lego League, the teams need to present to experts. They need to be competent and confident, but much so, the teams also need to do a robot match for the experts in this case are the referees. They need to be competent and confident. They need to know what the rules are. They need to know what is required. They need to know, and it's not the coaches who come to the aid of the team members. The team members are responsible for their own team. Okay, and so if you get a team that queries a referee decision, they need to be competent and confident. They need to know their rules. Okay, and this is all part of this ongoing development of 21st century skills. Okay, and just also an aside, when they do their presentation for a research project, there must always be good communication, clarity, complete work, and there must be teamwork. It's very disheartening to see a team fall apart, especially in a presentation. Okay. Oh, this was, you need to have all your information. So if you are presenting for a research project, I've got a 16 slide kind of layout, and it's not that it's cast in concrete. It's required to give the teams focus, that they know what their solution is, that they know what their innovation is, that they know who their experts are, that they know what their references are, that they know what their costing is, sharing, and what their evaluation data is. And so it must be all, this is specifically for First Lego League, but if you're going to do the open category on WRO, which is now called Future Engineers, you're also going to need to be able to present this. If you're going to do the first tech challenge, you have to present an engineering notebook. And you know where it starts? It starts in grade 1, 2, and 3 when they have a show me poster. They've got to make their own show me poster, and they've got to put the pictures on there to explain competently and confidently about their research. Okay, so in all age groups, there's an opportunity for these learners to share their knowledge. And you don't want learners to arrive at a competition and then stand struck for words and like, we don't know. And so this is the whole thing of competence and confidence. So how do you assess a team? How do you judge a team? How do you if the teams are going to participate, how fair are the judges? So I've given you an example here of a rubric that is used for the project. This is where they've got to present. Okay, if they have a referee for the robot match, there's usually a scoring mechanism, but the scoring sheet, the score sheet, is available before the time. So as part of your preparation for a robotics team to enter or to participate in a competition, get hold of the rubric, get hold of the score sheet, get hold and then do. So that the best way of tracking progress of a team is to do a robot score sheet at the end of every session, and to see whether your scoring is going up or something is going horribly wrong. Okay. All right. Understand the project, understand the challenge, understand what needs to be done. Okay. Then you do initial research. Look what the requirements are. Look what the project requires. Look what the challenge requires. Look what you have to do. Do some initial research and ask the questions. And I actually maybe needed to put this in bold, like discuss. You can discuss solutions with your team. You can discuss solutions with your team, and you can discuss solutions with your team. But you cannot do their solutions. Okay, please do not do anything for your team. They need to do it themselves. Remember, we want strong, competent, and confident teams. Okay, and they need to be able to do the work themselves. Okay, and I thank you. This has been, yeah. It's a journey. Competitions are a journey, and I'm highly recommending that your teams participate in at least one competition. It is not a test. It is not an exam. You don't get marks. You don't get marks. All right. But you get a robot score, and you get an evaluation and a review. All right. And at the end of the day, you get ranked according to the teams that show up. Okay. And so show up at a competition and be part of it. And you know, it's part of participating. It's part of that experience of participating, and that's the learning in that. All right. And you'll never know who's going to be your work colleague in the year, what's it, 2035 or something like that. Yeah, luckily most of us are retired, but anyway. Casper, you have a question? Yes.
Yes, Dr. Gous. Sorry for being late, but I have something I just want to add with the robot baby. So if you guys, so something that is nice also is to take photos of the robot, of how it progresses. So if you start with a robot and then how you made it more advanced, or just to show the judges how you improved, and maybe also with the code, if you can do the same with the code, it also helps the judges to see how you improved on your coding and how you improved on your robot. Those are my 2 cents that I wanted to say, maybe.
Awesome.
Just after this weekend, I think that's something I just wanted to add.
Yes, absolutely. There's no robotics team that comes to a competition with their first design. And so if a team says, if you ask a team, is this your only robot that you've designed? And they say yes, then you must know, maybe they didn't test enough. You always change. You always add things and improve things. Just don't do it on the day of the competition. That's not a good idea. No. Absolutely. Yeah, photographs is a good memory. Videos also of how your robot goes wrong and how your robot goes right. To see, it did do it once. So my teams also, before we can declare it correct, they have to show me 3 times. Do the same mission 3 times. If they can't do it 3 times, back to the drawing board. Yeah. Okay. What is a hand here? Wait a minute. Angie. Yes. Hi, Angie.
This has got nothing to do with competitions, I don't think. But
okay.
It's a question I actually now just thought of all of a sudden. Okay, we obviously can't do the robotics and that through the schools, because the school that we're at doesn't have it, and we're struggling to get schools that can accommodate us.
Okay.
But my question is the kids that I'm potentially getting into the team together, because we've got about 4 or 5 potentials together.
Okay.
They're not the same age group. However, it's hard to put them in an age group because their level of competence, because some of them are special needs, makes that difficult. So I just want to know, how does that work in this whole plan?
Okay, no, that's fine. So the first age categories as according to the rules of the competition. So WRO has got other categories. They go 3 years. So grade 10, 11, 12, and then 9, 8, 7, and then 6, 5, 4. So that's how they categorize those age groups. But you must just go and look on the rules of in what age category they are. First Lego League is from grade 4 to grade 10. Okay, but I need to put a little asterisk to that. However, First Lego League is really driving inclusivity and diversity. Okay, so I do think if you have a special needs team, please send them an email, or you can send me an email and I'll pass it on. Because we've got 2 other schools that we're dealing with as well. And then we can, are they too old or too young?
It's well, I don't know. The two that have just come to me that say they might want to be involved, I think, are about maybe 4 or 5 years younger than the other 2 or 3 that I've got together.
Yeah. So usually from 10 to 16 is the First Lego League challenge.
Okay.
But if you've got 1 or 2 that are special needs that don't fit into that bracket, just let me know. Okay.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks.
Yeah, they are. We've got other situations as well, but just let us know. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yay! Awesome. You've got a team. Great stuff. Yes. All right. Yeah, it's a difficult one about the age of children. You'll also get phenomenally grown-up young kids and really struggling older kids. But you know what? I I think in the bigger picture, it all levels itself out, because teams compete against each other, and it's just phenomenal. Yeah. There was also a whole, and maybe we should keep this for another time, the whole issue of having learners just from a single grade and single gender. And so that has also been, it's not debated, but just a topic, all right? So I don't know, there's kind of mixed, the literature has a kind of mixed reporting. Obviously, if you're in an all-girls school, you can only have a single gender team, and similarly for a boys' school. But in the end of the day, the team needs to function as a cohesive one, as a unit. From my own experience, mixed teams in terms of gender, and mixed teams in terms of ages as well. And so the cool thing about the mixed ages is that we always had a range of ages. And so when the eldest one kind of aged out and became a referee, we had another place. And so we added two, and at some stage we added kind of on the side as well, because we took another team as well, and we amalgamated 2 teams to get our 10. And then there's a weird concept, when you have more than 10 learners. So although like for First Lego League, 10 learners is the max, I've always had reserves. I've had kids that so badly want to be on the team and not left out. They are quite happy to be reserves. And you, as they can't, the reserves can't go in for judging. They can't be part of the team, but they're still part of the team. So, and also the younger kids would love to be part of a team. So then they become just those extra hands around. And I think I've told you this as well. The one school we worked in for many years, they had 6 teams. 3 teams competed, and 3 teams were the rah-rah, and 3 teams provided all the sing-song and they worked hard to get onto the team, because that's what they wanted to do. So they would come along to the competitions and participate as the cheerleaders. And that is getting exposure and being part of the process. All right. On that happy note. All right. I'm really hoping that we'll repeat this. Maybe we'll have some more practicals. Had this vision, maybe we should run a competition, and we'll do some video footage of it, and then we'll report on it and make a comprehensive. This is how we try WRO, and this is how. So I'm really hoping that our science campus opens very soon, and that our science center opens soon, and that we can have some workshops in there. And that'll be really great. Maybe have a weekend camp out, a robotics camp out or something like that. All right. So thank you very, very, very much. Cabello opened the sessions. Maybe Tumelo, you need to close the session then.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hoos, and to our fellow participants. For our online participants, thank you so much for watching the recording. For our live participants, thank you so much for the time. And from us, from the team, thank you so much for participating as well, and thank you for the questions. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a lovely Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Tumelo. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the competitions.